AskReddit by You Don't Now Megarol. What is the saddest song you've ever heard? Cats in the Cradle just fucks me up every time. My dad is the most important person in the whole world to me, and I don't always have time to spend with him even though we live together, because we have different work schedules. He's getting up there in age and just, that song fucks me up. I can't stand listening to it. The night my mama died, my dad sang Elvis Can't Help Falling in Love to her in the backseat of the car on the way to the ER. She died of fully metastatized pancreatic cancer 18 days after diagnosis. Wow, this is so heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. That song from Up makes me cry every time and it doesn't even have lyrics. Pixar movie scores regularly render me an emotional wreck. I remember the ending of Monsters Incorporated when Sully says goodbye to Boo, turning my tear ducts all the way up to 11. Michael Giacchino has a habit of forcing me to ugly cry. From the opening of Star Trek with Hemsworth to the music playing when Riley runs away from home in Inside Out. I'm aware that music scores pair with the emotions on screen, so it's kind of cheating, but damn does it work. Danny Boy at a friend's funeral 10 years ago. He, his sister and his GF all passed away in a house fire, all in their early 20s. It was an Irish wake and a mix of grief and whiskey joy was something else. As an Irish person, I've lost count of how many people I know who've been buried to a rendition of Danny Boy. One of the most beautiful, heart-wrenching songs ever written. I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. You can really tell she fucking lived that song. Surprisingly, it was written about her platonic friendship with Porter Wagoner. He was her mentor and helped start her career by putting her on his show, and the song was written when she decided to leave it. Youth by Daughter. Medicine and Candles are up there for me. Into Dust by Mazzy Star gets me. Edit, thanks so much for the awards. Fade Into You by Mazzy Star has always gotten me. Barbers Adagio 4 strings. https://www.youtube.com/watch?visqsge0l450 closed bracket doesn't even need lyrics to be the saddest piece of music I ever heard. RIP SGT Elias, Platoon. How to Disappear Completely by Radiohead. Haunting instrumental, depression dripping through every line of lyrics. I'm not here, this isn't happening. That, plus that disgusting off-key microtone through the first bit of the song. That songs makes you feel so hopeless, lol. Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. I find that the older I get, the more meaning this song has. I used to work in a daycare. We would play music pretty often and this song came on and I hadn't heard it in years. The line in Children Get Older, and I'm getting older to really hit as I looked around at the kids and remembered all the ones that I've had in my care that are all too old to be in the classroom I worked in. I just remembered all the bonds I made with all those kids, and then one day they move out of your classroom and you don't get to see them anymore and you just hope they didn't forget you, because you'll never forget them. Jeff Buckley Lover, You Should Have Come Over. His dad's song To the Siren belongs on this list too. All My Blood for the sweetness of her laughter. My favorite song of all time. He was a genius, and I've never heard such a perfect depiction of longing and love as that second part after the chorus. Sam Stone by John Prine. There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. Alternatively, Hello in There from the same album. Hello in There always gets me. Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce. I'm about to turn the age Jim was when he died in just a matter of months. Just thinking of how much we missed out on because he died so soon and thinking of how much of the best part of my life I'd miss out on if I were to pass fucks me up. Sylvia the Antlers. Actually that whole album, Hospice, breaks me, but this song in particular just leaves me in a mess every time. I'm thinking Kettering. Whole album is pretty sad. Brothers in Arms gets me every time. Sad lyrics and some of Knopfler's best guitar work. Absolutely perfect song. George Jones He Stopped Loving Her Today. https://www.youtube.com/watch?vexw77xjsbq . This was my grandfather's favorite song and we had it playing when they turned off his life support 11 months after my grandma died. It'll always be my favorite sad song. Samson Regina Spektor. This one is heartbreaking. Blue lips and laughing at God always make me cry too. My 10-year-old sang Remember Me from Coco at my father's funeral. The end of that movie was already an onion cutter, but now Sugar Skulls make me ugly cry. I'm sorry about your loss. I can't watch that fucking movie anymore because how I sob at the end. My grandmother died with dementia and it's just such an awful thing. 4th of July Sufjan Stevens. The Carrie and Amp, LOL album wrecks me. Bjork and Tom York I've seen it all. From the film Dancer in the Dark. Woman is going blind and York is enticing her with all the things she hasn't seen yet. But she just dismisses each of them and says it's okay because she's seen it all. Edit. For those not familiar with it, Bjork did both the soundtrack and acted in this film. It was famously traumatizing for her and she has not spoken to the director since. This song was nominated for Best Original Song at the 2001 Oscars and Bjork arrived in a dress made to look like a swan that was created by a friend of hers amidst all the high-end Hollywood fashion. While she was made fun of for that, I like to think that it has aged well and is now seen as a beautiful dress. I swear it took me a week to recover from watching that film. Great song too. The Night We Met by Lord Huron. No matter where I am, if I'm happy, who I'm with, etc. I'll bawl my eyes out if that song plays. It's so painful and true because one day they're there and they're your everything and then they start slipping until they're gone and you wished you could go back to before you met them so you wouldn't have to go through the pain of losing them. Just the lyrics I had all and then most of you, some and now none of you hit this. People falling out of love in relationships, growing apart with friends, family members passing, etc. is what this hits for me and it hits hard. Just listen to this earlier. Currently at the some of you stage in my relationship I think. I cry at this song every time. Can confirm it's one of the saddest but also most relatable and beautiful songs I know. Father and Son Cat Stevens. Goodbye, Mary Poppins. One of either. Me and a Gun Tori Amos. A cappella with Amos singing about being raped at gunpoint, based on something that actually happened to her. Margaret vs Pauline Nico case. Story of two women, one who has all the luck and the other who doesn't. Me and a Gun is a dark song that I don't really listen to much because of the content, but if we're going with the saddest one in her catalog, I'll always pick Winter. Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. Edit. Thanks to all the people recommending Nina Simone's version, as well as others, all chill-inducing and I love the conversations and knowledge in this thread. Thanks for the awards, too. Also, her Gloomy Sunday has quite the reputation. It's not a sad song as far as lyrics go, but I used to sing Here Comes the Sun to my daughter from the time she was born, even into her teenage years. It was our song but she committed suicide at 17 and I can't even think about it or hear the first two chords without losing it. My daughter also took her own life and there are so many songs I just can't listen to because they remind me of when she was happy. Also can't listen to Forever Young without losing it. I know your pain and time healing all wounds is a lie. Some wounds will never fully heal and you never know when something is going to open the wound again. Both Sides Now Joni Mitchell. It's Use in Love actually just cements it. Cherry Wine Hosier. The song is about domestic violence from the victim's point of view, which is sad in itself, but what's even sadder is that it still is a love song. The music video is devastating. I don't think I've ever cried that much watching something. The song Almost, Sweet Music, off his new album is killer too. I've got some color back. She thinks so too. I laugh like me again. She laughs like you. Elephant by Jason Isbell. Came here to say if we were vampires by Isbell. Glad to see here's the top rated comment. Elephant will hit you hard, but vampires will have you on the floor sobbing. Pictures of you the cure. It's insanely heartbreaking and soul crushing all at the same time. Father and son Cat Stevens. The line for "you may still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not" is the single most brutal line in any song. Father and Son was the last song I heard on the radio before I entered the hospital, where my dad passed 7 minutes later. Spooky. Exit music for a film by Radiohead. No surprises too, possibly.